Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we have a major update on the identity of AEW's Devil.
Tony Khan promises a huge AEW debut at Full Gear.
And another pretty big AEW signing has been confirmed.
And could Surfer Sting be making a comeback? I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
It's official, humanity is the devil.
Yes.
AEW's got no integrity, so it can't be that. Those who know. Right, we're going to talk about the identity of the devil in AEW a little bit because it's one of the big whodunit talking point things in AEW at the moment. And Fightful Select came through with a report last night on who it isn't.
No.
Which is interesting because that obviously rules out some of the biggest names and narrows the field somewhat. So, give me your top 3 picks for the devil, actually. I don't know if you've read this story yet.
I have.
Okay. Bummer. That's a bummer.
So I'll go Adam Cole.
Okay.
I'll go, just to make it interesting, Will Ospreay.
Okay.
Even though that's impossible. And I'll go Tony Khan.
All right, well, none of them are in this
What?
report, so that's good. So the 2 people that Fightful are ruling out here are Britt Baker and CM Punk.
Because he's returning at Survivor Series next weekend.
CM Punk was a pretty obvious one, I think, but these are 2 of the names who've attracted the most speculation, and according to sources in AEW, it's not them. So, according to this report here, the people who are currently behind the masks and wearing the bodysuits they're who's going to be revealed.
Right.
So the people who are doing it right now are the people who will pull off the masks eventually and go, it was me!
Kind of blows my Adam Cole and Will Ospreay theory out of the water.
Yeah, a little bit.
Tony Khan, though. Still a chance.
Yeah. What if it's QT Marshall?
Oh, no.
I'm just thinking of other backstage people. Mega Parek is back.
What's his name? League Singer in Nickelback? Jerry Lynn, sorry.
Poor Jerry Lynn. I've never seen Chad Kroger hit a package pile driver, to be fair.
Please don't hurt me, Jerry Lynn. It's just a joke from the Motor City Machine Guns.
Sorry, Jerry. But yeah, it kind of rules them out. Regarding Punk, they said that if it did turn out to be him, it would be a huge work on people who are in the know. So basically, they'd be working people who know the devil's identity already, which is not a good idea. They've also noted, as well here, Fightful have, that a few people in AEW know who it's going to be, but they've done a pretty good job of keeping it under wraps.
Makes sense, yeah.
So that's good to see. The Brit speculation comes from, initially, the first angle, it was quite like a slight of shoulder person, like it wasn't like you looking at the identity of the person. MJF is a very wide man. He's very heavily muscled.
It's not Samoa Joe.
Yeah, like Samoa Joe's a big dude. It's not Paul White.
No.
Like when they turned to the camera, they looked relatively smaller in terms of physique and stuff.
It's definitely not Paul White after that bump last night. Jesus Christ.
What was that?
Wow.
That was incredible. Britt also, she did that devil thing in that Doja Cat video.
Play with that, yeah.
But she's done interviews recently where she's like, well, it's not me, but what if it is? And it's like, she's having fun with it, obviously.
But it could still be Jack Perry on that assumption.
It could be. Punk got fired by AEW 2 months ago, so that's a thing. By the way, man, a tweet about CM Punk, all of the crazies come from you.
I saw, yeah.
Cheesy peeps, man. You know that meme? You know that meme going around where it's like, Twitter is like, you tweet, I like pancakes, and everyone replies going, oh, so you hate waffles? That's what the replies to that were. But
TV is better with CM Punk on it, you're right.
Yep, I am always right.
Yeah. Also, the content game's better.
It's not CM Punk or Britt Baker. That's what we're saying. But let us know. No, you let me know first, and then we'll ask.
I'll let you know, but now you let me and him know in the comments. Who do you think it is now? If we can rule those 2 out.
Who do you want it to be?
Yeah.
I saw an interesting a really interesting suggestion in our mentions this morning. Richard Holiday.
I did see that. Yes.
See, that is a fun one because, he's the immense history with MJF, but it's a history that very few AEW viewers would know about. That being said, their ties are pretty incredible. So from a storyline standpoint, it would be perfect. Maybe not so much from an awareness standpoint, but I would like to see Richard get signed soon because he's very good.
And Tony Khan could splash out on Madonna's Holiday for his entrance theme. So
failing that, Green Day. Why not?
But lots of news coming out of last night's AEW. We'll talk a little bit more about that and Andy's next story. And also big news breaking on Twitter, X, whatever it's bloody called, last night. Because Tony Khan tweeted, AEW has agreed terms with one of the world's best pro wrestlers, a pro who is known and respected by virtually every AEW fan. They'll come to LA, sorry, that's just a force of habit, to sign their contract this Saturday on pay-per-view at Full gear.
Full gear.
Lots of speculation on this one as well on social media.
So I'm not going to throw too many names out there with regards to guesses on this right now because I actually have a video coming out tonight. Regarding this whole thing, I'm going to give you 10 candidates for this.
I like that.
So I'll save some picks for that. However, breaking this situation down, right? So, Tony Khan obviously has the reputation of someone who overpromises and underdelivers when it comes to announcements, right?
Fairly recently, yeah.
Yeah, like really recently with the ticket stuff. That's important announcement. Tickets are on sale. It goes back to like Christian's debut, right? When it was like a Hall of Fame tier announcement and Christian showed up. And Christian has turned out to be an amazing signing for AEW. And look, I was happy with that. But some people were like, oh, this isn't big enough, right? But that has definitely intensified in recent times.
I think there is an issue also with AEW fans and bad faith wrestling fans.
Oh, yeah.
Hyping up stuff or picking out stuff that they clearly haven't advertised or suggested and saying, well, if it's not this, it's going to suck. But yeah, I think it's fair to say he's maybe overhyped some of his announcements.
Yeah, so like the balance to this is that there's that side of it, and I think a degree of that is fair, right? Like saying something is an important announcement and then going, by the way, tickets are on sale is like, you could have done that on your website, brother. That's really easy. But by the same token, if you look at his wording of this tweet, right? Can you read the first sentence again?
One of the world's best pro wrestlers, a pro who's known and respected by virtually every AEW fan.
So what he's saying is that this is a very good wrestler who most AEW fans will know, right? So all it has to be really is someone who fits that bill, right? By the literal definition of the words, it could be El Hijo del Vikingo.
Of course, yes.
A great wrestler who is familiar with the audience.
And who isn't all elite yet.
Exactly. He's not saying it's one of the biggest stars in the world.
No.
He's not promising you someone the caliber of Mercedes Moné. Although, if it's not Mercedes, you will have people saying this is a huge disappointment, even though he didn't use terms that would promise that, because he has the reputation of overpromising, and now it's almost habitual whenever something like this happens.
Yeah.
The thing with Tony Khan is that he could cure like the worst diseases in the world, and someone would say it's not enough.
Yeah.
But he has kind of earned that reputation.
Yeah.
So this is a very tricky situation. I'm looking forward to finding out who it is.
Fascinating, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to people arguing with each other. Just stay away from my mentions.
Yeah, my sources tell me it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, but it's probably going to be
Brock Lesnar.
If you're going to ask me, Mercedes is a good guess. Dolph Ziggler is another name that's been put out there, and I will say Michael Hamlet just suggested to us Ronda Rousey as well, which I'm really excited to find out who it is on Saturday. But I'm not going to say any more because, like you say, you've got video coming out on it later today.
Yeah, we do indeed. Let's move over to someone who isn't going to be. It's not going to be Kota Ibushi because he's already signed to AEW. So, like, I mean, Ibushi had been kind of alluding to this for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Makes sense.
Saying he has a deal, he has an agreement, blah, 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 blah. He's done bits and pieces, appearances here and there, interviews, all that stuff. But they made it official yesterday. The usual way, Tony did his tweet with the graphic and welcome to the team and all of that stuff. And Kota Ibushi is now signed with AEW. Of course, his most recent match with the promotion was the... I can't remember the full name, but the Like a Dragon...
Dragon Gaiden thing, yeah.
Yeah, the 4-on-4 where Paul White got slammed onto the car. Gee whiz. But that was a hell of a bump for him to take. Fair play, Paul White. I respect that immensely. But yeah, Ibushi is signed. He has had an interesting AEW run so far. Kota Ibushi's not what he used to be. No. I think that, like, it's hard to argue with that, right? Like, go and watch Kota Ibushi from 3 or 4 years ago. He's like he's incandescent. One of the most exciting wrestlers in the world. It's clear that his lengthy absence and various injuries have taken a toll on him physically, right? You see it in moments like last night when him and Kenny did the cross slash, the moon
yes, that's a good point.
It's like the hesitation is not quite as, speed's not quite there, and like it doesn't quite have the same aura and stuff. So, but I give Kota Ibushi a lot of leeway when it comes to this stuff, right? There's a lot of people who'll be watching Ibushi for the first time in AEW, and I think that's a shame because this is like a 6 out of 10 Ibushi.
Yes.
Right? It's not the full version, and that's a bit of a shame. I do still hope that he can get back to where he was. But after such a difficult couple of years for him personally, I'm just glad he is living a good life and doing well.
Yeah, I think Kota Ibushi, I'd put him in that same bracket as like a El Hijo del Vikingo, just people that I just assumed were all elite. even if we hadn't had the graphic yet. And like you say, I assumed, complete speculation on my behalf, that a bit like when Mox didn't have an AEW contract, it was sort of a handshake deal. We all knew that no one was going anywhere else.
Yeah.
Really excited to see what they do with him going forward. I think it's fair to say he's been fairly underwhelming, although he did get on his bike on the match last night.
Shout out to DDT. That was very fun.
And he took a ridiculous bump, what was it, off the apron, tombstone, through a thing on the Jesus. Makes sense when he came to the ring and went, what's happened at the end of the match?
Yeah, well, what's going on, guys? It's like when he did Blood and Guts and then just took some bumps afterwards.
Didn't need to do that, Kota.
Yeah, what are you up to, man? But yeah, Kota Ibushi is an interesting personality, and I still want to see him wrestle an alligator in a ring shape like lemon.
Well, I'll tell you one of the people he could be wrestling next.
Oh.
Surfer Sting.
The cyclist
Could happen.
Yeah.
Because obviously, Sting is on his retirement tour as we head towards Revolution 2024. And Tony Schiavone, on his podcast, has pitched that Surfer Sting could make a return. He talked about it on his What Happened When podcast. Hey, one of the best podcasts out there that's not ours. There is a small chance, Tony said, that he could go retro, dye his hair blonde, and go back to it for a time before his obviously iconic crow look, which presumably will be the last vision we see of Sting in AEW.
He's going to do the Joker, baby.
Schiavone said it would take some convincing if he was going to do something like that, but he refused to rule out the possibility. Thinks it makes sense and bring the legend's in-ring career full circle. Like I said, it would take a fair few changes to Sting, but what do you reckon?
I'd be on board for that.
Yeah.
I'd be I quite like it when Jericho's like, yeah, I'm Lionheart this week. Just out of nowhere.
Yes.
I like stuff like that. I think it's fun. It leans into the silly pantomime aspect of pro wrestling, and it's Sting's retirement tour. I'm not averse to this at all. Do something silly, do something fun. Get Brian Cage involved with it. He can do his face paint again. It'll be great. Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
You know, I've got my sources. Obviously, I can never reveal them, but I've got my little birds.
Yeah.
Apparently, his last match at Revolution, I know what it's going to be. I don't know who the opponents are going to be. It's not going to be a singles match, but it's going to be a tag match with a close personal friend of his. Not Darby Allin, RoboCop. So
bring it back.
I do think they should do some powering RoboCop back at some.
There is a new RoboCop game out.
Well, there we go.
I heard it's very good as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get around to it after I finish the first Spider-Man game. One day.
I just finished Elden Ring for the third time.
Have you?
Yeah.
Should I play that?
No, you will you won't get out of the first level, man.
I'll never find the Elden Ring. I'll never find it. So
where is the Elden Ring?
Right, let's move on.
You're still looking for the Dark Soul.
Let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE on X. Of course, you want to get in touch with us. You mentioned Brian Cage then, so does Darren. Cheers for the question, Darren. He says, hey guys, seeing Brian Cage lose again last night, do you think he's being underutilized in AEW? I think he should be at least an AEW International Champion. What are your thoughts? P.S. I'm still the only non-WhatCulture guy who's won your title. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Darren.
I think that Brian Cage's usage rate has certainly been a lot better in the past year or so, right? Because he went missing for ages after the Ricky Starks feud, and that was whack, because I enjoy Brian Cage a lot. I don't think that Brian Cage is necessarily somebody who needs to be a top champion in AEW. However, I think he is a little bit underused. Yeah. He is dynamite in the ring. He's one of the best action fighters in the company, right? His stuff is so eyeball popping, it's crazy. This big, insanely athletic, muscular, yoked up guy. I've really enjoyed his just meathead promos that he's done this year. I've enjoyed all of that. I really loved him and Big Bill together. I don't know why him and Big Bill isn't still a thing.
What a team.
Big Bill and Ricky is good.
Yes.
Big Bill and Brian Cage was awesome. So, yeah, I do think he's a little bit underutilized in that regard. I know he's large, and because he's large, a lot of people go, hey, world champion. I know you're not saying that.
Yeah.
I think he'd make a good contender for these belts. But yeah, I would like to see him more, because I think he's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd like to see him on TV more. He just passed the old-fashioned airport test by a country mile. I will say, didn't he hold the trios titles, the ROH trios titles? So he has had gold within AEW of sorts.
He just won them back the other week, brother.
Yeah, and in AEW's defense as well, it might have made sense that they didn't want to put big titles on him. A, because he was being a bit cheeky on social media in amongst that absence.
Yeah.
And B, they might think, oh, he wants to take time off because he's just had a kid. Not the case. Obviously, his missus had a child and then he was wrestling last night on telly. But congratulations to him and his family.
Shout out to Brian and Melissa.
Yeah. Right, let's move on to your next question. Comes from Vacant's manager. He says, gents, since it's Movember, is it? I don't know. If you want to donate, a really important cause close to my heart, links on my social medias. And in a few short weeks, we can shave again. Who's got the best facial hair going today, and who desperately needs a hot shave?
It's the butcher.
It's always the
It's
butcher.
always the butcher. He's had so many different facial. He's had just like the mustache. He's had the full beard. He's had like the Abraham Lincoln thing.
Oh.
It's always him. He's a master of the facial hair.
I will pick a few. Turbo Floyd, obviously.
Hobbs.
And Lexis King.
He's the one who needs to have a shave. His facial hair freaks me the F out.
It's weird. I remember
It's
I
strange.
first saw it when they were first building it up, and I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
Rewind that. What's that?
It's literally the weirdest thing since the Hogan thing.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's abysmal. What's he doing?
You're close with who needs a hot shave. You may be right with Lexis King, but I'm going to always say Adam Cole because I don't like looking at him like this.
Yeah, it's
Even
not-
if it's just on video call.
It's not right, is it?
No, but
It's
maybe
not
that's
right.
all a big swerve because maybe you see some beard hairs popping out of the devil mask.
Ooh.
But if it's like you say, if it's the people doing it, then it's either a massive work or it's not Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments who you'd like to see have a shave and whose facial hair you love.
Who needs a shave?
Reese Dixon gives us our final question of the day. Hi, Reese. He says, hello, legends. What do you think of Logan Paul holding the title until Elimination Chamber and having Bronson Reed take the title in his home country, either in a chamber match or singles like that?
Yeah, I do think that Logan will hold it until at least Elimination
Yeah.
Chamber or WrestleMania or whatever. I think that's a good time scale to have him carrying it around in all of his various media appearances and stuff. Maybe fewer shower photos. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Not that he's not in shape or anything.
No.
But, yeah, sure. Why not?
I like a big hometown. I think we're going to get a big hometown win for Rhea, obviously.
Yeah, they did it with Buddy in Super. Was it Super Showdown?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I could see this happening. Basically, I don't care if you want to do that. All I care about is LA Knight winning it at WrestleMania because he needs a big win, a big title win at WrestleMania. So yeah, maybe Bronson wins at Elimination Chamber. Logan Paul bitches and moans and gets himself a rematch at WrestleMania, which LA Knight is also inserted into because he wins some sort of tournament previous to Logan Paul bitching and moaning his way into a triple threat. Because I think LA Knight and Logan Paul, you want to see them go back and forth on the mic. But I like having a monster like Bronson Reed, a hometown monster, win it in Australia. But there we have it.
They could do the Drew McIntyre thing as well, because I don't know where in Australia he's from.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say where it is.
Is he from Perth?
I don't know if it's right.
right.
I don't know the chamber's in Perth, isn't
Yeah,
it?
because Australia is so huge, he could be from basically a continent's worth of land away. And
Yeah.
his backyard, and he'd be like, "Chief, I'm from over there."
Where is he?
But obviously, in his home country, he's gonna get an incredible.
Adelaide.
I don't know if they're close.
I'm fairly certain it's right next to Perth.
Oh, okay.
I've no idea.
Okay, right. Well, bye.
Correct me in the comments and check out this
Yeah,
video.
bye.
Bye.
See ya.